Hey guys, MrCrayfish and welcome back to another 1.8 modding tutorial. In this tutorial today we're going to be starting to work on the teleport mod, and specifically in this episode we are going to be working on the item. Now what the item is going to do is it's basically going to store coordinates of a block that we select, and later we'll be able to use this data to input it into the block and actually teleport to that block we actually selected with the item. So basically whenever we right click a block or right click a block with the item, it's going to store those coordinates in the item. And what we're also going to do is add just a little effect, and that is to make the item name turn to an aqua color. And then we're also going to add the ability to clear the data, so whenever we hold shift and right click with the item, it is going to remove the data and the blue name, so it's back to its original state, which is this state. So that's what we're going to be doing in this episode today. So this is basically covering some cool item properties that you guys can actually play around with. So let's get into the code now. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new package for our items inside of our mod package here. So click on that main one, click on new package, and then we're going to append on the end here .items, press enter. And then inside of that, what we're going to do is create a new class. And again, you can call this whatever you want, but for this mod, I'm calling it item coordinate cache. I like to say cache, it just sounds nicer. I'm pretty sure it's cache, but I just like the sound of cache, it just sounds cooler. And what we're going to do is we're going to make this extends item, then just Control-Shift-O to automatically import. If that comes up, just double click the top one. And now we've got 4 methods that we actually have to implement. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into our item class here. So just press Control and click on item. And the first method that we're going to find is on item use. So you can just press Control F to bring up that, then type on item use, find it, and then we've got it here. What we're going to do is we're going to copy that, go back to our class, and we're going to paste that in. We're also going to override it, so above the method type @override, and then we're simply just going to format by Control-Shift-F. And this method here basically allows us to run code whenever we right click a block with this item. Now another method we need from the item class is on item right click. So it's this one here. We're going to copy that, go back into item coordinate cache, and paste that below it, and again we're going to put in the @override symbol or the @override annotation above it. Now this method here will get called whenever we right click it. It doesn't matter if we're right clicking a block or not, it's always going to be called whenever we're right clicking with the item in our hand. Another method that we need is add information. So I'm just going to type that in there, and it should be this one here. You want to copy that whole thing including the side only annotation above it, go back into our item class here, paste that in, and then we're just going to expand these brackets here, and then also add the @override annotation above it. And then the last one that we've got is we're actually going to add that kind of enchantment effect. So this one is has effect, and we're simply going to copy that, go back to our item class and put that below there, and again above it that override annotation. So these are the 4 methods that we're going to be using to actually create the function of this item, which I explained just before. So we're going to start with on item use, and this basically gets called whenever we right click a block. And what we want to do is whenever the player isn't sneaking, allow data to be put onto the item. Whenever it's not, that's when we're going to clear the data from the item. So what we're going to do is we're going to type in if doesn't equal to player in dot is sneaking, and we're getting this player in from this parameter here. So if the player isn't sneaking, then we'll start to run our code. So the first thing that we're going to do is make sure that the item has a tag compound. So we're going to do if stack, so we're getting the parameter from here, if stack got get tag compound equals null, and then we'll create some squiggly brackets, and we'll do stack set tag compound new NBT tag compound, and then import that. And basically this allows us to set data in the item, because if there is no tag compound and we try to set data in it, it's going to return an error because there's no tag compound. So we actually need to create this tag compound, and basically we just check if the tag compound is null, then we actually set the tag compound to a new NBT tag compound. That is really confusing to say, but hopefully you get that. So we've just created the tag compound for the item. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create a new tag compound. Oh my god, this is just repeating the same words. NBT tag compound, and let's call it simply NBT equals new NBT tag compound. And then this is where we're going to store our coordinates inside of this tag compound here. So what we need to do is type in NBT dot set integer, and then we're going to call the key pos x, and then the value is going to be pos here. So type in pos dot get x, and then we're going to copy that line. We're just going to paste it 2 more times, and we're going to change x here to y and y, then this last one to z and z. And then what we want to do is we want to call stack.getCompound tag, or get tag compound, and we're going to paste that there. Then we're going to do set tag, and then for the key here we're going to type in coords, and then for the value we're simply going to pass in this NBT variable here as the value. Now when we actually put data onto the item, I want the item to have an aqua name instead of just the plain white name. So simply new line, do tag or stack dot set, set stack display name, and then what we're going to do is we're going to type in enum chat formatting dot aqua, and we're going to do plus and then quotations, and we're going to type in coordinate cache and then colon on the end. And this basically sets the color of the text to aqua, and then our text here is coordinate cache. So we set the coordinates into the data of the item. What we're going to do now is create a method to actually clear the data. So in this onItem right click method, we're going to copy this here, so paste that in, and what we're going to do is we're going to remove this exclamation here. So if the player is sneaking, this one here checks if the player is not sneaking, because we've got the exclamation in front of it. So if the player is sneaking, what we want to do is we're going to change this item stack here in just to stack, because it's just better. If stack.get tag compound doesn't equal to null, so if there is a tag compound, what we want to do is stack.remove, stack.get tag compound dot remove tag, and then we want to type in there, we're actually going to copy this chords, paste that in there, and that basically just removes that NBT tag compound from the data of this item, and that essentially removes this position data. Wow, my recording software decided to not record this next segment of the tutorial, so I'm recording this again. I actually discovered it when I was actually editing the video that it didn't have this next bit, so but oh well. What I said in the last bit though is that this remove tag here just basically gets rid of these position values up here. What we've got to do under it is do stack dot clear custom name, and this basically just gets rid of this name here and returns it back to the default name, which is just coordinate cache without the aqua. Now you probably have an error here. What you want to do is just type in stack there, and that's just returning this here because we need to return an item stack. Now the next bit to this is adding some information, and this is basically information under the name of the item. So whenever you highlight over it, it has that extra information under the name of it, and you'll see when we load it up afterwards. So what we need to do is type in if stack. Now if this isn't named stack here, because I might have forgot to reverse this when I'm recording this next segment, name this item stack here to stack. So if stack dot get tag compound doesn't equal to null, we're going to do another if stack dot get tag compound dot has key coords. Then let's add the information, because we only want to add the information if we actually have this data in the item. So simply what we're going to do is do the reverse of setting the MBT. What we need to do is get the MBT, then get the integers. MBT tag compound, MBT tag compound, MBT equals stack dot get tag compound dot get tag, and then coords. Now we'll need to cast this to an MBT tag compound, but that's fine. Then we simply want to do int posx equals nbt dot get integer posx, and then we'll copy that again 2 more lines, and then simply just change it from x to y and then x to z. Now we're going to add the information, and to do that all we've got to do is call this list here. So we just put that down under there, and then we do dot add, and then what we're going to type in is we're going to type in quotation x colon space, and then outside of the quotations we're going to do plus posx, then another plus and another quotation space y colon space, and then outside the quotations plus pos y, then another plus and quotation space z colon space, and then plus pos z, and this just gives a nice format to the coordinates under the item. That's basically it for the information. The last thing that we're going to do is the has effect, and this is very simple as well. All we're going to do is we're going to type in here if stack, if I can type, dot has tag compound doesn't equal to null, and then inside of there we're going to type in we're going to do return stack dot get tag compound dot has key coords. So this is basically a boolean value here, so we can return has key as a boolean value, and basically if it has the key, what's going on here? We're going to change that to just get tag compound, just because that's what it was before when I actually recorded this tutorial. And then for this bottom bit, all we're going to do is change stack is item enchanted to false, because we don't want it to have the effect if it doesn't have this data at all. So here we are in game. What we're going to do is right click the ground with our item, and you'll see that it now has an effect on it. And if we highlight over the item, you'll see that it says coordinate cache, and then we've also got, whoopsie, let me just turn that off. I'm going to turn the extra information off. You'll see that it's got x -61, y 63, and z 270, and the block, let's just do a new block that we can actually see a little bit better, this one here. So right click that, so the quartz have changed, but if we go into this here, you'll see that it says on the left side right at the bottom it says looking at -75, 63, 272. If we look at the item, -75, 63, and 272 are the coordinates. So there we go. Now one last thing that we've got to do, and I didn't actually record it in the previous tutorial, is save the dimension ID. So we're simply just going to do that real quickly. What we've got to do is just up here add nbt.set integer, let's call it dim, and then we're going to call world in dot let's do player actually, player in dot dimension, and then colon at the end there. And then when we're over at add information, what we're going to do is above there we're going to do int dim equals nbt dot get integer dim, and then in front of this we're going to, or in between here, we're going to add a space in that quotation there, but then we're also going to add a quotation at the start here called dim space, and then do plus dim plus, and that will add in the dimension ID to the information. And I think that is it. So let's just do one last test real quickly. So if we right click the ground now and we look at our item, it will say the dimension ID, which is 0, and then it will give us our X, Y, and Z coordinates. So there we go. So that's going to end off this tutorial today. If you enjoyed, make sure you hit that like button because it keeps me motivated to create these tutorials, and I'm sure you guys want me to continue them. In the next tutorial, I'm not sure exactly what we're going to do. We might start working on the block of the teleportation, which will like teleport you to places. So if you want to see that, yeah, remember to leave a like button, subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Bye bye. Also, again, if you want to check out the source code, it is available on my GitHub page, and the link is in the description.